The quantum detection array hidden beneath the Atacama Desert erupted into life on a quiet Tuesday morning. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings in disbelief, her hands trembling as she initiated the verification protocols. After 20 years of scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, they had finally detected something. And it was massive. Director Kumar. She spoke into her comm unit, her voice steady despite her racing heart. You need to see this immediately. Within hours, the Chilean facility transformed from a sleepy research station into the epicenter of humanity's most significant discovery. Dozens of ships, each larger than Earth's largest cities, had appeared at the edge of the solar system. They made no attempt to hide their presence. The collective, as they called themselves, approached with calculated precision. Their first transmission reached Earth through all possible communication channels simultaneously, demonstrating a mastery of technology that left human scientists in awe. Their message was simple: we come in peace, seeking dialogue with Earth's united leadership. Director Raj Kumar, a veteran diplomat who had navigated countless international crises, felt an unfamiliar chill as he watched the alien transmission. Something in their tone, their careful choice of words, triggered warnings in his mind. Instincts honed through decades of high-stakes negotiations. They're being too perfect, he muttered to Dr. Chen as they prepared for the first official response. No cultural misunderstandings, no translation errors. They understand us too well. The following weeks saw a flurry of diplomatic exchanges. The collective presented themselves as a benevolent federation of species, offering to guide humanity into a new age of prosperity. Their ambassador, a being who called itself Nexus, appeared in holographic form before the United Nations, its ethereal form inspiring both wonder and unease. We have watched your species grow, Nexus announced, its melodic voice echoing through the chamber. Your potential is remarkable, but you stand at a crucial junction. Join us, and we will ensure your ascension to greatness. Behind closed doors, Earth's leaders debated. The collective's offers seemed generous: advanced medical technology, clean energy solutions, faster than light travel. Yet for every gift, there were conditions: military restrictions, resource sharing agreements, governance assistance. Dr. Chen worked tirelessly, analyzing every piece of data from the alien vessels. Hidden in her secure lab, she discovered disturbing patterns. The ship's positions formed a perfect containment grid around Earth. Their energy signatures suggested weapons capabilities far beyond their peaceful declarations. Kumar connected the dots. The collective's diplomatic overtures were a masterclass in manipulation, designed to make Earth dependent on their technology, while slowly stripping away its autonomy. They had done this before. The evidence was in their carefully crafted proposals, which anticipated and countered every possible objection. As world leaders prepared to sign the first treaties, Kumar and Chen raced against time to expose the truth. They found their allies in unexpected places: military strategists who had quietly prepared for this possibility, tech innovators who had developed countermeasures in secret, intelligence operators who had been watching the skies long before first contact. Major Elena Santos of the newly formed Earth Defense Initiative reviewed their findings with growing concern. They're not here to help us advance, she concluded. They're here to ensure we don't advance enough to challenge them. The evidence was irrefutable. The collected ships carried enough firepower to glass the planet. Their protective fleet was positioned to neutralize Earth's major military installations within minutes. Their technology-sharing programs were designed to create dependence while carefully avoiding any knowledge that could lead to true technological independence. Kumar addressed an emergency session of the Security Council, his voice grave. We are not dealing with benefactors, he declared. We are dealing with conquerors who have perfected the art of bloodless subjugation. They don't need weapons because they've mastered something far more effective: the ability to make their targets surrender willingly. As the truth spread through the highest levels of government, humanity faced its greatest test. The collective's offer stood: accept their guidance or face isolation in an increasingly dangerous galaxy. But now Earth's leaders understood the true choice: submission or resistance. In underground facilities across the globe, scientists and military strategists worked frantically to prepare for either outcome. Dr. Chen's team made breakthrough after breakthrough, reverse engineering what they could from the minimal data they had gathered. Major Santos coordinated with defense forces worldwide, developing strategies for a type of warfare humanity had never faced. The collective's deadline approached. Nexus appeared again before the UN, its serene hologram betraying no emotion as it waited for humanity's answer. Kumar stood to deliver Earth's response, acutely aware that this moment would define human history. "We have carefully considered your generous offer," he began, his words broadcast to every corner of the globe and to the waiting ships above. "And we have learned much from our discussions." He paused, making eye contact with the alien ambassador. "We have learned, for instance, that your previous interactions with other species follow a remarkable pattern." The hologram flickered, almost imperceptibly. In that tiny reaction, Kumar saw confirmation of everything they had suspected. The game of deception was over. Now would begin a very different kind of first contact, one that would show the collective that humanity wouldn't be so easily subdued. As Kumar continued his speech, Dr. Chen activated a quantum scanning array that penetrated the collective's ships for the first time, while Major Santos gave the order that activated defensive systems that had been built in total secrecy. Humanity had chosen its path. The question now was how the collective would respond to finding that their perfect record of bloodless conquest might finally meet its match. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility unknown to even most world governments, Dr. Marcus Wong watched as his quantum interference device successfully disrupted a collective communications beam for the first time. The achievement was the result of 3 months of non-stop work since Kumar's confrontational UN speech, but its origins went back much further. "Send word to Santos," he instructed his assistant. "Project Shadowbreak is operational." The collective had responded to humanity's defiance with remarkable restraint, or what appeared to be restraint. Their ships maintained their positions, their communications remained cordial, if cooler. They simply waited, confident in their overwhelming technological superiority. They had no way of knowing that humanity had been preparing for this moment long before their arrival. 20 years earlier, a classified NASA probe had discovered the remains of an ancient alien outpost on Mars. The technology was dead, but its memory banks contained enough information to convince Earth's major powers that they weren't alone, and that they needed to be ready. The Planetary Defense Initiative had been born in absolute secrecy, uniting the world's brightest minds in hidden facilities across the globe. Major Santos stood in the control room of the Atacama facility, now transformed into a command center for Earth's hidden defense network. Holographic displays showed the status of installations worldwide: quantum laboratories in Antarctica, nanotech factories beneath the Sahara, energy weapon platforms in the Marianas Trench, and dozens more. "The collective scanning patterns are changing," reported Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, their chief sensor analyst. "They're becoming more aggressive in their attempts to penetrate our defensive screens." Santos nodded grimly. The quantum dampening field that hid their facilities from detection was holding, but the aliens were growing suspicious of the gaps in their intelligence. They had expected to find a primitive species scrambling to understand their technology. Instead, they encountered sophisticated countermeasures that shouldn't have been possible. In his secure office in Geneva, Kumar received the latest intelligence briefing. The collective had begun approaching individual nations, offering exclusive deals and preferential treatment. Their attempt to divide and conquer was sophisticated, playing on historical rivalries and economic disparities. But humanity had learned from its own history. The Global Defense Pact, signed in secret by every nation after the Mars discovery, held firm. For the first time in human history, national interests truly took a back seat to species survival. Even as governments publicly wavered and argued, their unified preparation continued underground. Dr. Chen's breakthrough in quantum computing had been key. By studying the Mars outpost's remains, She had discovered that the physical laws the collective relied on weren't as absolute as they believed. There were loopholes, gaps in their understanding that humanity, with its fresh perspective and desperate innovation, had found ways to exploit. Wang's team had developed quantum interference technology that could disrupt the collective's supposedly unbreakable communications. In the Sahara facility, Dr. Aisha Patel had perfected nanoscale manufacturing techniques that could match the aliens' material science. And in laboratories worldwide, thousands of other scientists worked on projects that would soon change the balance of power. But their greatest advantage was one the collective couldn't comprehend: humanity's experience with warfare. The aliens had grown complacent through centuries of bloodless victories, mastering the art of diplomatic subjugation. They had forgotten the innovation that comes from existential threat, the rapid advancement that conflict drives. "They think we're children playing with toys we don't understand," Santos observed during a secure briefing with Earth's military leadership. "They don't realize we've been reverse engineering their technology while developing our own parallel solutions. When we move, they won't be ready for the combinations we've created." The weapons platforms hidden in Earth's oceans were a perfect example. They combined human expertise in conventional warfare with adapted alien technology and entirely new principles discovered by Earth's scientists. The collected shields were designed to stop any weapon they knew about. But humanity had created weapons they had never imagined. Kumar's diplomatic team kept the aliens occupied with complex negotiations and deliberate information leaks, while humanity's real preparations remained hidden. The collective's confidence in their superiority made them blind to the possibility that Earth could meaningfully resist. In the Antarctic facility, Wang's team achieved another breakthrough. They had found a way to not just disrupt collective communications, but to penetrate their encrypted channels. For the first time, humanity could listen to their adversaries' private conversations. "They're planning to move soon," Wang reported to the Emergency Council. "They're tired of waiting. They think a show of force will bring us in line." Santos reviewed the readiness reports from Earth's hidden arsenal. The orbital defense platforms were in position, concealed by quantum fields. The ocean-based weapons were primed. The planetary shield network was ready for activation. 2 decades of preparation were about to be put to the test. "Let them come," she said, her voice steady. "Humanity has never been more ready for a fight." In the Sahara facility, Dr. Patel powered up the nanoforge production lines. Soon, they would begin manufacturing the devices that would turn the collective's own technology against them. In the Marianas installation, engineers ran final checks on weapons that broke the laws of physics as the aliens understood them. Kumar prepared for what would likely be his final diplomatic exchange with the collective. Their patience was ending, and soon they would attempt to demonstrate their power. They expected to find a primitive species armed with crude adaptations of stolen technology. Instead, they would find something unprecedented in their long history of conquest. A species that had used the time bought by diplomacy to prepare not just defenses, but innovations that would change the galaxy forever. Humanity's hidden arsenal was about to be revealed, and with it, the true cost of underestimating Earth. The collective's ultimatum arrived at dawn. Their massive ships descended into the atmosphere, positioning themselves above major cities worldwide. Nexus's hologram appeared simultaneously in every government chamber, its serene facade now tinged with impatience. "Your species has been given ample time to recognize the wisdom of our guidance," it announced. "Your continued resistance demonstrates a lack of maturity that must be addressed. You have 6 hours to accept our terms, or we will be forced to demonstrate the consequences of defiance." In the Antarctic Command Center, Major Santos watched the alien ship's movements with calculated calm. "Right where we want them," she murmured. The collected show of force had brought them within range of Earth's hidden defenses, exactly as planned. Dr. Wang's quantum interference network had already begun its work, subtly corrupting the aliens' sensor data. They saw Earth's military forces exactly where they expected them, clustered around cities, primitive and disorganized. The reality was very different. Kumar stood before the UN one final time, his expression grave. "We have all seen the power of the collective," he began, his words carefully chosen. "Their ships darken our skies. Their technology exceeds our greatest achievements. They offer us peace through submission." He paused, making eye contact with the collective's holographic representatives. "And yet we must decline." The alien delegates stirred, their composure cracking for the first time. This wasn't how subjugation was supposed to work. Faced with overwhelming force, species were meant to submit. Humanity's continued defiance defied their understanding. In orbit, the collective's fleet began powering up their weapons. They had done this countless times before. A simple demonstration of power, destroying an isolated military base or remote island. The display would shatter human resistance without causing catastrophic damage. But as they charged their primary weapons, something unprecedented happened. Their energy readings fluctuated, shields weakening in seemingly random patterns. Dr. Patel's nanoscale disruptors, deployed months ago through the upper atmosphere, had finally been activated. Multiple targets experiencing shield instability. Lieutenant Tanaka reported, monitoring the sensor feeds. Phase 1 successful. The collective's response was immediate and predictable. Their ships launched waves of automated repair units, sophisticated machines that had maintained. The collective returned 3 days later with a force 5 times larger than their first fleet. This time, their ships maintained high orbit, beyond the range of Earth's demonstrated weapons. Their hulls had been reinforced against quantum interference, their communications encrypted with new protocols. But humanity was counting on this. They're adapting exactly as predicted, Dr. Chen reported from her quantum analysis station. Their defensive modifications are impressive, but fundamentally flawed. They're still thinking in terms of known physics. The collective's new tactics were textbook space warfare, establishing a blockade, preparing for orbital bombardment from a safe distance. They had learned from their first defeat but remained blind to their greatest weakness, their own certainty in their technological superiority. Major Santos stood in the Antarctic Command Center, now expanded into a full military operations complex. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. "Dr. Wong, you have a green light." In laboratories across Earth, scientists activated technologies that had been held in reserve. The quantum interference fields that had disrupted the collective's ships during the first battle had been mere prototypes. The real weapons were far more sophisticated. Dr. Wong's team launched their masterstroke, quantum entanglement devices that didn't just interfere with alien technology, but fundamentally altered the laws of physics within their operational sphere. The collected ships found themselves in zones where their advanced technology simply stopped working as it should. Multiple targets experiencing critical systems failure, Lieutenant Tanaka reported, monitoring the chaos spreading through the alien fleet. Their attempts at adaptation are making things worse. The collective's reinforced hulls, designed to resist quantum interference, actually amplified the effects of Wong's devices. Their new encryption protocols, based on principles they believed humans couldn't understand, were systematically dismantled by Dr. Chen's quantum computers. But humanity's real advantage lay in its diversity of approach. While the collective focused on defending against the weapons they'd seen, Earth unleashed entirely new ones. Dr. Patel's nanomachines had evolved. Instead of simply weakening alien hulls, they now reconstructed themselves using the very materials they consumed, growing exponentially like a technological virus. The collective's attempts to destroy them only provided more raw materials for replication. "They're launching their fighter squadrons," Tanaka announced. Thousands of smaller craft poured from the massive ships, designed to overwhelm Earth's defenses with sheer numbers. Santos smiled grimly. "Activate the Guardian network." Hidden in Earth's thermosphere, millions of autonomous defense platforms came to life. These weren't the simple orbital weapons that had surprised the collective in the first battle. These were something entirely new, hybrid machines that combined human-eyed with reverse-engineered alien technology. The alien fighters encountered an opponent they had never trained for, machines that could predict their movements, adapt to their tactics in real time, and operate on principles their pilots couldn't comprehend. The resulting space battle looked less like traditional combat and more like a complex dance of light and energy, with human technology systematically dismantling the alien assault. Kumar watched from Geneva as the tide of battle shifted. The collective's confident advance had turned into a desperate attempt to maintain formation. Their ships, trapped in zones where familiar physics no longer applied, struggled to coordinate their actions. Their fatal flaw was assuming we would think like them, he observed to his staff. They forgot that humanity's greatest strength is its ability to imagine the impossible. In orbit, the battle reached its crescendo. The collective attempted to concentrate their forces, gathering their ships into a defensive sphere. It was a logical tactic, designed to maximize their remaining defensive capabilities. It was exactly what humanity had planned for. Dr. Wong activated the final stage of his quantum interference network. The space between the alien ships suddenly became a maze of overlapping fields, where reality itself seemed to fluctuate. Ships trying to maintain formation found themselves operating under different physical laws than their neighbors. The collective's perfectly coordinated fleet dissolved into chaos. Ships collided as their navigation systems failed, their crews unable to compensate for the constantly changing conditions. Others simply disappeared, transported to random points in the solar system by quantum displacement effects they couldn't understand. "They're breaking," Tanaka reported as the alien fleet began a disorganized retreat. Multiple ships showing critical damage. Their command and control structure has completely collapsed. Santos watched the retreat with professional satisfaction. "Launch the pursuit teams," she ordered. "Don't let them regroup." Earth's ships, smaller, more adaptable vessels that had been hidden in underground bases, emerged to harry the retreating aliens. Unlike the massive collective ships, these craft were designed to operate in the quantum-disturbed space that now surrounded Earth. Their human pilots, trained to think creatively and adapt on the fly, excelled in the chaos they had created. The collective's retreat turned into a rout. Ships vanished into quantum fields, emerged in pieces, or simply ceased to function as their technology failed them completely. Those that managed to escape found their long-range communications compromised. They couldn't even warn their civilization about what they had encountered. In the Antarctic Command Center, Earth's leaders gathered to assess their victory. The collective's main fleet had been shattered, their aura of invincibility destroyed. But more importantly, humanity had demonstrated capabilities that would make any future invasion think twice. "They'll be back," Kumar warned. "But not soon, and not the same way. They'll need to fundamentally rethink their understanding of physics first." Santos nodded in agreement. "And by then, we'll have advanced even further. They taught us an important lesson about complacency, one we won't forget." As the last alien ships disappeared from their sensors, humanity began preparing for the future. They had won more than a battle. They had won the right to determine their own destiny in a galaxy that would never again underestimate them. News of the collective's defeat spread through the galaxy like a shockwave. For the first time in recorded history, their fleets had not just been repelled, they had been systematically destroyed by a species they had dismissed as primitive. The implications shook the foundations of galactic society. In the months following the battle, Earth transformed. The secret facilities that had protected humanity now became centers of innovation, their existence finally revealed to the public. Dr. Chen's quantum computers revolutionized every field of science. Dr. Wang's physics-altering technology opened new frontiers in space exploration. Dr. Patel's nanomachines began rebuilding Earth's infrastructure at the molecular level. Major Santos stood on the observation deck of humanity's first official deep space station, watching as construction drones assembled the massive structure. "We're not hiding anymore," she said to Kumar, who had joined her for this historic moment. "The question is, what do we do with our place in the galaxy?" The answer came sooner than expected. The first diplomatic missions from other civilizations began arriving within weeks of the collective's retreat. Not all were friendly. Some came to assess the threat, others to seek advantage in the power vacuum. But all brought the same message. Humanity could no longer be ignored. The Ardani delegation is requesting permission to dock, Lieutenant Tanaka announced. The Ardani, a species that had long chafed under collective dominance, had been the first to reach out. Their ships approached with a mix of caution and hope, their sensors carefully analyzing Earth's defenses. Kumar led the diplomatic team that met them. The Ardani ambassador, a crystalline being that communicated through pulses of light, conveyed their civilization's admiration for humanity's achievement. More importantly, they'd brought information about the collective's response to their defeat. Their entire society is in upheaval, Dr. Chen translated from the ambassador's light patterns. Their belief in their own superiority was the foundation of their civilization. We didn't just defeat their fleet, we shattered their worldview. Reports from across the galaxy confirmed this. The collective, faced with proof that their understanding of physics was incomplete, had turned inward. Their remaining fleets retreated to their core systems. Their client species, sensing weakness, began asserting independence. The power structure that had dominated the galaxy for millennia was crumbling. In the Antarctic facility, now transformed into Earth's primary research center, Dr. Wong and his team made another breakthrough. The quantum interference technology that had won the war had applications far beyond combat. They found ways to create stable zones where the laws of physics could be selectively altered, opening possibilities that even the collective had never imagined. We're not just advancing technology, Dr. Paddle explained to a group of visiting alien scientists. We're rewriting the rules of what's possible. Her nanocanes had evolved into something new, a technology that could restructure matter at the quantum level, guided by human creativity and innovation. Earth's emergence as a galactic power brought responsibility as well as opportunity. Santos found herself coordinating with alien military leaders, sharing strategies and technologies with carefully chosen allies. We remember what it was like to face overwhelming odds, she told them. We won't become what we fought against. Kumar's diplomatic corps expanded, now dealing with dozens of species. Some sought protection, others partnership. Earth found itself at the center of a new network of alliances, built not on dominance, but on mutual respect and shared innovation. The collective made one final attempt to reassert control. A year after their defeat, they sent an embassy to Earth. Their representatives, humbled but still proud, came with an unexpected proposal. They offered humanity a place among their leadership, a chance to join rather than fight. Kumar met them in the same UN chamber where their first threats had been made. The contrast was striking. The once dominant collective now seeking terms with the species they had planned to subjugate. We appreciate your offer, Kumar responded, his words broadcast across the galaxy. But humanity has a different vision for the future. We don't seek to rule or to join those who do. We seek to explore, to innovate, and to help create a galaxy where no species needs to fear subjugation. The decision marked the beginning of a new era. Earth became a beacon for species seeking to break free from collective influence. The technologies that had won the war were adapted to peaceful purposes, shared with allies who proved their commitment to cooperation rather than conquest. Dr. Chen's quantum computers helped species communicate across vast distances. Dr. Wang's physics manipulation enabled new forms of space travel. Dr. Patel's nanomachines helped rebuild worlds devastated by centuries of exploitation. Standing in the completed space station, now a hub of interstellar commerce and cooperation, Santos and Kumar watched ships from dozens of species dock and depart. Among them were vessels using technology that merged human innovation with alien science, creating something greater than either could have achieved alone. We didn't just win a war, Kumar observed. We changed the rules of the game. Santos nodded, remembering the desperate preparations that had led to this moment. The collective thought they were coming to guide humanity to the stars, she said. Instead, we showed the galaxy a new way forward. As Earth's influence spread, it carried a simple message. True strength lies not in domination, but in the ability to imagine and create something new. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through conquest, but through innovation, determination, and the unwavering belief that there was always another way. The age of the collective was over. The age of human innovation had begun.